Hey, how in the world are you doing? We are live. Hey, I just wanted to pop on, and this isn't going to be long at all. Um, this is literally about how to sell. And I can say, after 30 some years of selling, I've and doing well selling, by the way. The number one way to sell anything is to close. No, man. No. I think people need to learn how to close, but the number one way to sell is to develop relationships with people. It's the best way to sell anything to anyone is have a relationship and then have social proof and develop more and more and more and more relationships. That's how you do it. Not like, look, here's what prompted this. I'm just going to tell you what prompted it. Some dude on LinkedIn wished me a happy birthday, and I said, thank you for the birthday. And by the way, thank you to everybody who wished me a happy birthday yesterday and today. And thank you so much. I mean, I literally received hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I don't even know how many text messages, LinkedIn, on just everywhere. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm filled with gratitude. 52 and 1. That's right, Charles. It's not all about selling somebody a product. It's about building a relationship of trust and friendship. Doug, that's it, man. So, I mean, look, so the guy sends me a message, happy birthday. I said, thank you for that. That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. And then he said, how are you? Now, I don't know about you guys. Doug Wing, thank you. This is the great Doug Wing of the Little Giant Ladder Company. His father is the founder. Doug is still the co-chairman of the board. Is that right, Doug? I forget your official title, but Doug is scheduled to be on my show at the end of this month. I can't wait for him to come on and tell the stories he has to tell about his father and building the Little Giant Ladder Company. I have 2 Little Giant Ladders. I'm going to be getting a third one. I need one of those telescoping ladders. But anyway, so look, as soon as I got the message from him saying, how are you? And I think it happens probably to all of us. Like, as soon as somebody sends you a message on social media or any kind of message, your sales resistance wall goes up. Like, I was like, oh no, is he engaging me in a sales pitch? Is this going to happen right now? It's a Saturday night. Is he? And I'm sure he's a super, super, super guy, but we are being literally inundated on social media messages primarily of just hammer, just, and hey, Mike Scott, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Robert Brooker, good to see you. Charles, would you like to learn how to write a best-selling book? I would. Corey Calvin, what's up, my brother? Good to see you out there in Colorado, beautiful state of Colorado. So it's like the enthusiasm plug gets pulled out of the wall. Tammy Ann, how in the world are you doing? That girl right there is awesome. I love that chick. She's amazing. So, like I said, I'm going to make this short, but if you want to, if you really want to build your sales on social media, the best way to the best way to do that is through building relationships. You've got to build relationships, and you may say, well, how do you do that on social media? Well, you flow power to other people. You help other people. You get out of yourself, out of the sales closing mode, and think about, how can I help this other person? How can I help them? So if somebody is on LinkedIn and they want to build a relationship with you, or they want to build a relationship with me, and you're posting on LinkedIn, and they are commenting on your post, or they're complimenting your post, and they're sharing your post, and they're telling everybody else, wow, this guy or this gal is absolutely amazing, check this post out. Just like me saying to, and I legitimately mean this too. Here's the other thing: is there's a lot of very insincere stuff going on too, right? So if I didn't like Tammy Ann, I wouldn't say I love that chick. I'd say, oh, hey, there's Tammy Ann, hey, and I wouldn't say anything else. But I think she's awesome. She's been on my show, and so when you want to build these relationships on social media, you have to find something that you really genuinely like about that other person. And then you have to build the relationship. And you may say, how long do you have to before you approach them on, dude, I don't know. Figure it out. I don't know. I didn't say that I know how to do that. And it may be 1 hour, it may be 1 day, it may be 1 year. I don't know. It depends on what you're selling, depends on, but to send somebody a LinkedIn request or a friend request on Facebook or wherever, and immediately start hammering them on buying your little giant ladder, Doug Wing. I'm kidding. Doug's not like that in any way. Like, he's selling a lot of ladders, trust me. But like, when you come at somebody, when somebody friend requests me on LinkedIn, and then I immediately get a message, hey, how are you? Great to be connected. I always say, great to be connected with you too, or nice connecting with you too, or whatever. And then exclamation point, and that's it. And I close the chat. If I get another message back saying, so what do you do? That's the worst. That's the worst thing you can ask somebody, by the way. Dude, are you telling me that you're not willing to put in just a little tiny bit of work and read my profile? Maybe go over and visit my website? Like, come on. Like, put in the work, man. Like, this isn't, you've got to develop relationships. Doug says, our very first distributor is still a customer and one of my best friends. I stay at his house every time I go to California. Exactly. That's what it's about right there. It's about building that relationship. Hey, Kelly Combs, good to see you on here. And thank you for sharing this, Kelly. I saw that you just shared. I appreciate that. Look, social media is huge, and it's huge for a lot of business. It's huge for me. I've had so many people buy products and services from me that are friends that I've developed relationships with. I'm not just you're like a little giant giving up the ability to giving the ability to get to new heights. I thought that said giving up. I'm like, dude, what? So look, man, thank you, Dan, for saying that. But this one right here, Corey says, sorry. Corey says, someone asked me the other day if I invest in real estate. Not only do I invest in real estate, I teach investing in real estate. If you would take the time to dig in, do some research on me, look me up, Google me, Google who I am, go to my website, do some research, Get a piece of paper out here. This is going to get real old fashioned now. Get a piece of paper and a writing apparatus, also known as a pen, and you click this little thing on top, and then ink will flow out of that when you press it down on the paper. And assuming you have somewhat of an education, you will be able to write words and sentences and stuff. And you write things down about Corey Calvin or Doug Wing, or you write things down about Robert Brooker that you find, interesting about that person, and decide, do I really want to have a friendship / relationship, and how can I provide value to that person's life? How can I bring value to Corey Calvin? Corey owns like 6 million apartments or something. I'm kidding. Hey, I don't know how many he owns now, but I know it was around 5,000 apartments. And so, Corey's done very, 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 very well. And so, you probably couldn't loan him money. Well, you might be able to. He may take a loan from you, but I'm just kidding. But you got to think, well, what can I do to bring value to somebody like Corey? What can I do to bring value into his life or into his business? And think about that. I just got a card and a box with brownies in it from the CEO of Banner Season, my good friend Joe Kennemore out in Utah. Well, he's between Utah and Las Vegas. And it's just it's a nice, awesome birthday card and a couple of little gourmet brownies saying, "Happy birthday, man. I was thinking about you, dude." And I know that he has this on an automated system. I know he has it, but it still made me feel special. And Joe and I are friends. I mean, I can call Joe. He's the CEO of the company, but he takes my calls. But look, and it's only because I've added value to his life. He's added a lot of value to my life. It's a reciprocal relationship. So instead of trying to figure out what angle can I figure out how to close this deal, or starting a conversation with somebody on a Saturday night that's going to lead into a sales pitch is not a good idea either. So Tammy says, I helped Corey with a real estate deal. It was a simple call, but we have a connection via me. Oh, cool. Very cool. I'm glad to hear that. Welcome to my automated gifting list, right? I'm a member of that Banner Season thing too. And you can set up these automated things. You enter people's names and their birthdays, and it sends an automatic birthday card and a little gift if you want. It's really cool, but it's not something that is cheesy. I mean, who doesn't like getting a birthday card and a couple of brownies in the mail? I mean, that's far from cheesy. So, the best way to sell anything to anyone is to develop a genuine, real interest in that person and a relationship. Robert Brooker, let me tell you about Robert Brooker. He gets on every single one of my live streams. He shares every single one of my live streams, every one of them. And he shares to multiple places. I've gone back and looked at where he shared it into a bunch of groups, like everywhere. Robert Brooker comes on and he's very engaged in my live streams. Glenn Morshower will say that about Robert as well. And Robert types very long, very, very, I don't know how he types so fast, but he types very, very, sometimes he types out full chapters for books. But I love this dude. And I've been on FaceTime calls with him or Zoom or whatever. And he's an amazing guy, very, very intelligent, but he's always looking at how he can improve my viewership. He's always flowing power to me. And Facebook user, you must be in the Grow Live Facebook group, because that's what's showing up. So you have to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and let them show your name so I can see who you are. I don't know who you are. Tell me who you are. I think there's a couple of people watching from that private group. That's the Grow Live community. But anyway, so the best way to sell anything to anyone is have a relationship, a genuine connection with that person. Now, I'm not saying that Walmart does that. Obviously, they don't, but they spend millions of dollars in advertising. Oh, it's Jose. Jose, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, dude, or click the link in the post and give them permission to show your name. So, and Kelly loves typing too. Robert could reach out to me anytime and say, hey, do you have time for a phone call? Or do you have time for a chat? And I wouldn't be able to stop everything I'm doing. I would definitely set up a time to talk with Robert. Robert could ask me for help and I would help Robert. I would help him. There's a lot of people on here right now that I would help. There's people that watch my live streams that don't participate. They don't say hi. Like Scott Ricard, thank you for saying hi. Hey, Margaret, thank you for being here. And so those are some people though that I wouldn't. I just like, I don't know you. Like, why do you want to talk to me? Right? Like, and we all get those. It's not just me. We all get those. Why do you want to talk to me? What is it you want to talk about? And I get those messages and it's like, dude, if you're just going to try to sell me something, type it out, send me a link to your website. Let me see what you got. I may take a look at it. I probably won't. I'm just being real. I probably won't, but I might. And it's a big might. So, think about that. Ryan, I never say his name right. Katie. Thank you, Kelly, for saying that. I appreciate you saying that. He sent me this. He customized a t-shirt that says, don't tag me, bro, because I went on a rant about stop tagging people in your posts. Tagging me is a waste of your time. And quite honestly, it hurts you and your Facebook algorithm when you tag me, because most of the time I go in and click remove tag, and that tells Facebook that you ticked somebody off by adding a tag. I'm just telling you. So I wouldn't tag people in your posts unless it's like when I go live with Glenn Morshower and Scott McCain on Sunday nights for the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott. I tag both of them because they want me to tag them. They want the video to show up on their Facebook page, so I tag them. But I also have relationships with them. And Glenn often talks about having relationship capital. Tagging without permission, it really hurts you. It makes you look foolish too. It really does. Like, I get these posts where it says, so-and-so tagged you and 99 other people. I'm like, what? What? Don't stop. If you're hearing me talk about this for the first time, I will not go off on my rant about it. Glenn Morshower, my brother, I was just talking about you. I won't go on my rant about it, but man, learn how to use social media properly. If you're tagging people, not only are you green at social media, and I'm not talking about never tagging people. I'm talking about tagging a bunch of people in hopes that it will get on their Facebook page. I have 5,000 friends. If you tag me and I let it be on my wall, a lot of people are going to see your post. That is not me saying go tag me, because if you do, I'm going to remove the tag, and then it's going to hurt your post with the Facebook algorithm. If you have 1,000 friends and you put out a post on Facebook and you don't tag anybody, Facebook's going to allow maybe 1 or 2% at the most see that post. 1 or 2% of your friends will see that post. 1 or 2%. That's why I only got 500 happy birthdays instead of 5,000 happy birthdays. I may have actually lost my mind, and I'm glad that Facebook has got my back on that at least. So like, look, when you go and you start tagging people, if you tag me and you tag Glenn Morshower and you tag Scott McCain, you tag Grant Cardone, you tag Jeffrey Gitomer, and you tag, everybody you think that you can get, like, an influencer to put your stuff out and get on their wall. Well, all that's doing is hurting you, because when me and Jeffrey Gitomer and Glenn Morshower and Grant Cardone and all these people go in and click remove tag, or we click hide from the wall because we don't want to embarrass you, right? We don't want to embarrass you by saying, dude, now my name shows up as just my name without a clickable link, which is what happens when we remove the tag. It tells Facebook's algorithm that you're being naughty, and they will make sure that less and less people see your post. It's the truth. So stop tagging people. Don't tag me, bro. Seriously. Don't tag people. It's just it's unless they are expecting the tag or it's about them. Like when Glenn flew from Dallas to Nashville to meet me at a gas station in the middle of the night. That is a true story if you guys didn't hear it. To meet me at a gas station in the middle of the night. I took a picture of us and I tagged him because I know that he wanted to be tagged. By the way, I told Glenn he is the only he's the only celebrity to ever fly anywhere, anywhere to meet me. He holds the world record. So he's the only and the first. He's my brother, though. But like I said, look, the best way to sell anything, is to develop genuine and real relationships with people. My buddy Frank Crinitti, one of the top the number 1, number 2 car salesman in the world, sells 140 cars a month now, 130 to 140 cars every month by himself. He has now, I think he has an assistant, and there's a guy that works on the lot that helps him deliver the cars to the customers when they come in to pick them up. And Frank is known in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, almost as the mayor of Delaware County. Like he is so connected to so many people that come in and go, oh my gosh, my friend Lindsay said you're the best thing in the world, and I shouldn't go see any other car salesman in the world. And Frank's like, well, Lindsay is right on then, and he develops a new relationship with that person, and let's be friends on Facebook, and do I have your permission to tag you? Let's take a picture. He has an entire experience when he delivers that car. It's just not, hey, here's the keys, here's how the air conditioner and radio works. he has a red carpet. He literally, it's a red carpet with a step and repeat behind it. And he has the red velvet robes with the, like you see at the on the red carpet or at the movie theaters or whatever. And like people look forward, people buy cars from him just so they can be on the red carpet. I mean, I don't think it's that many that do it for just that reason, but there are people that do it for that reason. They want to be on the Frank Crinitti red carpet. He has created an experience, and all of these thousands upon thousands and thousands of relationships. He didn't do that overnight. He did not do that overnight. Just like I didn't get Scott McCain on Amazon Live overnight. Amazon made me an influencer store. So I have an influencer store on Amazon. And then they said, hey, congratulations, you're approved to live stream on Amazon. I'm like, I didn't even know you could live stream on Amazon. So thanks. That's cool. So, you know, look, the best way to sell anything to anyone is to develop real and genuine, heartfelt relationships. Sending messages to people that you have not developed a relationship with, it may work for a while for some things, maybe for some things. If you're selling a pen or something and it's a low price point or something, I don't know, but you know, when you're doing it like that's your modus operandi is to send messages on LinkedIn or to send messages wherever, just so you can, you know what I'm talking about. You guys have been there. You get the messages too. And it's a terrible feeling to have to, like, I block people. I mean, they come at me like that. I normally immediately, maybe not on LinkedIn. I don't necessarily block them. But I might, so they don't slip through the cracks and send me another friend request again. Cause nobody wants to be sold like that. Nobody. Jeffrey Gitomer has and one of my favorite quotes of all time. And that is, people don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. People don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. Frank Crinitti has a great saying, and this is one of my favorite sayings in the world. It's not about my selling process. It's about your buying process. If you just develop a relationship with somebody, you make an authentic, real connection. Dan, there are people have no idea what that means. I do. I know what spam faxes are. It's like, hey, thanks for using up a whole roll of my incredibly expensive fax paper, you jackwagon. Oh, man. Anyway, I got that, and I don't know if the guy was trying to sell me anything. He may not have been. He hasn't said anything else to me yet. Hey, what's up in Chicago, Episcopalian guy? Did I say that right? Episcopalian guy. I think I said that right. Hello from north of Columbus, Ohio. So just know that it's your human responsibility to stop unless you have what Glenn says right there. Glenn says right here, it's a good idea to cultivate meaningful relationships via consistent mutual deposits. That way, when either party requests a withdrawal, it isn't even viewed as a withdrawal, and the answer is typically yes. That's it. That's it. Now, this is a guy who's an actor, been an actor for 45 years. Agent Aaron Pierce on the TV show 24. You guys know him best as that. My brother is another way you guys know him. He is an amazing dude. He's not even, I mean, he is in sales, but if you said, hey, are you a salesman? He would say, no, I'm an actor. But, you know, sales is a required part of the career. And here's the thing. He gets it. He's nailing it right there. He gets it. It's about, if Glenn said, if he sent me a text message, you haven't, I don't think you've tagged me, have you? Anyway, if Glenn sent me a text message and said, hey, I've got something I want us to all do on the show, or I have a great idea for something, I'd love to have you be a part of it. I have no time to explain it. I just need to know if you're in. I'd say, yes, I'm in. Yes, I'm in. It's that simple. Yes, I'm in. We don't even have to go any further. Tell me when we get there. Right? Like if he said, hey, I need you to help me hide a body. Okay, I'm on my way, dude. I'm kidding. I wouldn't help him. I don't think. Well, I'm just kidding. Glenn is, like I said, Glenn is a brother to me. There is a ridiculous amount of relationship capital, a ridiculous amount, and anything he needs. And I have lots of friends like that. I mean, lots of friends like that have given me a ridiculous amount of relationship capital. And in turn, I've given them a lot of relationship capital. Glenn says, because of the trust that accompanies longevity. Exactly. Hyena is laughing. Is that like that's hyena is laughing. Get it? Glenn is a genuine nice guy. Absolutely. Sandy McNichol, I love you. You're amazing. Sandy, I don't know. I think I had one of the best birthdays ever. My wife said, sorry for such a lame birthday. I'm like, what was lame about it? Did I do something wrong? Why are we talking about lameness? I thought it was awesome. It was awesome. It was an awesome birthday. Thank you. And it was because she made a roast and miscalculated how much time it would take for the roast. That was my request for my birthday dinner. And she just miscalculated, and it's okay. And we had it tonight. So we had pizza for my birthday dinner last night. No big deal. So look, if you want to, says you sound like Tom Hanks. I've heard that so many times. I've heard that, and I've heard I have 15 minutes. I'm bouncing, bro. I'll bring you on for a minute. Hang on. Let's do it. Let me send you the invite. We'll have you come on for a few minutes. I'm not staying on super late, but let's do it. Link and link. I've had people say Tom Hanks, but I've also had what's the one comedian's name? I don't even like this guy. I mean, he's okay. I forget his name though. I forget the guy's name, but I've been compared to this other dude too. Between now and my next auto repair, Glenn, Glenn is ridiculous. So hey Tammy, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. She has no clue the amount of fun you're having with your live streaming. Oh, she does. She watches a lot of my live streams, actually. Charles Coachman and Glenn, by the way, if you're still watching, you have been sent the link. If you requested Jill get your pot roast right for your birthday, you are lame. Right. That's funny. Yeah, that's hilarious. Hey, Kimberly, how are you? Good to see you. So look, I started this because, in case you're just now joining, I got a message from somebody on LinkedIn, said happy birthday. I said thank you. And then immediately I got a whoa, my volume is way up. I got immediately, hang on, I'm in the middle of a story, Mr. Mooreshower. I immediately got, so this guy says happy birthday to me on LinkedIn Messenger. And I said, thank you. And immediately he responded, how are you doing? And
I've got you on 2 channels here.
Yeah, you got to shut the one off. I hear it. You got to shut the Facebook feed off, not the StreamYard, the Facebook.
It's done.
I know, I can tell. So I said, he said, how are you doing? And I said, great, thanks for asking. And then I did the polite thing and I said, how are you? And he said, great, thanks for asking. And it didn't go any further, not yet, at least. So actually, I still hear it.
No.
A bit. No?
No, it's
check. Hold on, let's do mic check.
Mic check.
How you doing, Glenn?
You know, it's funny. You went on that spiel about, man, my brother Glenn, just whatever. If he says he wants to do something, I say
that
yes.
Scared me actually.
And you almost said I'm bouncing. And I thought, if you do, I'm going to call you a jackwagon. If you bounce, you are a certifiable jackwagon. After all that feel good, lovey dovey stuff, followed by
no,
I'm out of here.
I was getting ready to end the stream, and then
we don't need to go long. I just want to say hi to you, and I really am between auto repair. That is an absolute truth. I am going out and doing electric stuff.
Dude,
I decided, listen, let me explain.
Go to a mechanic, please.
When I work on it, I am going to a mechanic, to be real clear.
No.
The problem is, you know me as an actor, and when I said I've done hundreds, I don't mean hundreds of my own. I mean, I've done many of mine, probably 20 brake jobs over the years, 25, but I've done hundreds for friends. I love working on cars. And so today I just started tripping out on beautifying my dad's old car, like doing things. And this is probably going to be close to minimal interest to the audience, but look, did they all leave?
No. Look at the comment.
Oh, that's funny. Well, enjoy the show, Scott.
Hold on. Let me finish my thing. I didn't finish
Do it.
Nothing happened, Dan. It's the LinkedIn guy. Just he's not said anything else so far. So that's it. Sorry. Now go ahead, Glenn.
You know what? It's only taken 24 hours for Weldon Whitehurst to become a supporter of me as a mechanic.
Because
last night he was telling me to stay the hell away from cars.
Yeah,
in general,
he was
right. I think he was telling Chris Roush and me to both stay the hell away from cars. And what I want him to understand is that I belong around cars. I don't know who else does. Yes, that one, my dad's old Buick, does have a 3800 V6. Yeah, that's
Wow.
exactly right, Robert. Good for you.
Wow.
And it's a powerhouse. I mean, it gets up and moves. It's not a fashion statement. So if you're looking to attract people sexually, it will run them off, right? If you're driving down the street thinking, "Hey, this is," but I don't think that. So I'm good to go. I've been in the same relationship a very long time. My car is not bait, and it's a car of mine. I have an
Right.
Infinity that I drive most of the time. Anyway, let me just tell you, I want to, I want to, I want to turn this into something very special. Oh, what
Uh,
did Sean say?
let me finish my thing. Nothing happened. That's the end.
Is that the end of your story? Is that nothing happened?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
end.
So may I proceed?
Yes, you may.
Because I think
Sorry.
this is really cool. Now, I could be the only one that thinks it's cool, but I think you'll like it, Ken. And I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you who from this crowd will like it. Robert
Okay.
will like it. Weldon will like it. Sean probably will. I'm not sure who else, but let me run this by you. So I dug out I dug out the Buick because it's time for its renewal, not because I
Uh-huh.
had nothing else to do. We do inspections once a year
Mhm.
here, and it's nothing more than a racket for the state to get money. That we all know that.
Yeah.
But you still have to comply, otherwise you get a citation if you're driving the car around and
Right.
you're not current. And in Texas, they have a sticker. It's not handled the same way in all the states. So, for example, in California, there's a little sticker on your plate in the upper right hand corner of your plate. It's a little bitty tiny thing. But in Texas, it's glaringly obvious and it is in your front windshield. So easy for police to see and it's color coded so they can tell if you're updated quickly. Anyway, let me move this story along.
Hold it. No, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Can I go get some water and you tell the story while I'm getting
Uh,
water?
I would suggest that you do that.
Because as soon as I hit go live, I picked up my cup and I went, oh, crap. I didn't get any water.
I'm on a meal break. Mama's making salmon and rice.
Uh,
I'm so healthy and I love it. So let me tell them this story because I think
okay,
they'll
go
find
ahead.
something that's metaphorically beneficial. So, Robert, I'm going to dial into your mind for this one, and Weldon and Sean, and I'll key on the other people as they respond. But so I took my pop's car out, and I started noticing some things that would need to be fixed. The turn signal was out, and I know those are easy fixes, front, back, and so forth. But while I had the back trunk up in the air, I noticed that the drainage, which every car has this, you wonder what happens when it rains, right? For those of you who don't know the design of an automobile with regard to rain, how is it that it can rain and we see these slots up top for the trunk, but it doesn't wind up in your engine or it doesn't wind up in your trunk, right? Engine for the front and the trunk in the back, the empty space. Why doesn't it rain into your trunk and land on your luggage or back there and it creates mildew? And the reason is there's a little canal that it falls into. It's literally a metallic canal and it goes around like this from the center. It falls and it's at an angle so that it rolls away from the center and goes around the curve on the outside and drains out and falls down and keeps it out of there. Well, over time, those they're in effect, those are gutters. This is your this is your mechanical tutorial for the evening, guys. So enjoy your Saturday evening auto mechanic tutorial. They basically work like gutters. And so they fill over time with dirt. They fill with leaves. They fill with little sticks if you park under trees. And so when you lift it up, when you lift the trunk up, look and see what that canal looks like. So I don't typically drive this. It's my dad's car. So it'll go long periods of time without being driven. And I just decided, wow, those gutters need to be cleaned. And so I broke out a sponge and some water and some soap and turned it into an immaculate canal when it was filled with crap and dirt. And it was just really cool to watch the inefficient become the efficient. Now, why am I mentioning this? not because I think I'm talking to a bunch of mechanics, but because that is our lives. That's our lives. Our lives are assembled mechanically. And this is actually how I learned to be a troubleshooter with regard to human behavior. I was a psychology major in college, and it was in those days that I realized what a parallel there was. I grew up working on cars. What a parallel there was between human behavior and auto mechanics. And I'm not joking. And perhaps my next book should be called, I know they have a book called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. Maybe there should be a book with a title that links auto repair to human repair and how similar they are. Because when a human being is having issues, they too, like a car, have knocks and pings. They have symptoms. They have things we can listen to and establish that there's a problem. And if this sounds far-fetched, then I'm sorry. If it doesn't, this will make for fascinating discussion, because you can troubleshoot your life, so help me God, exactly the way you troubleshoot a car. So once I went on this mission, I started looking for little seemingly inconsequential things that could be updated on this car. And that's what I did all afternoon today. It was like the satisfaction that accompanies working a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, where each thing is a little, what does Robert say? That is why I always bought the shop manuals for any car I had, for the list of disablements that those manuals contain. Here, here, my brother, here, here. And it's an adult jigsaw puzzle. So my point is this: you don't have to get into the habit of outsourcing everything. Not everything, because there's a certain amount of satisfaction when you can do the repair on things which includes you, which includes us. That is so satisfying when you can not have to take yourself to the shop, but you actually realize, here is why my life is making this noise. Here is why I have this symptom going on in my life. And what I need to explore is not the symptom, but rather the cause of the symptom. I'm telling you, auto repair and human repair are adjacent to one another. They are a doorknob turn away. So I got a lot of stuff updated tonight, and I have one little simple thing I'm doing after our dinner, and it's to change a license plate light. Just the light that illuminates the license plate. That particular model has 2 of them. Here's the problem. You'd love to think you could just slip a little plastic cover off and change the bulb, but it's not designed that way. So you have to open up the trunk, lift it up, and you have to detach these covers that keep the carpet area over the mechanics of it all. You have to undo a couple of those, followed by 7 bolts. It is the only way to it. That's the way the design was made. But when you do that, the whole panel comes off, and then you go, oh, it's right here. But you have to be willing to do that. Do you see how much like human behavior that is? Sometimes you've got to take several extra steps in order to get to the root of the issue. But here's the deal. You feel so much better when you get back and start your car knowing that you didn't have to rely upon someone else. There are times when you need to rely upon someone else. My goal here is not to send a bunch of people out addressing things that are beyond their pay grade. That would be foolishness. There are things that, look, if you don't know how to do it, don't do it. But if it's a simple repair, talk to someone who knows, and then here's the deal. Go ahead and look at a manual. YouTube is fantastic, Ken, for tutorials of the simplest of things. And I'm telling you, talk about money saved. There are so many repairs that people are spending money on that they actually could do it themselves. They could do it safely and efficiently. They only are they seem to be daunting because you've never done them. And that's all it is. And changing a tail light in a car, changing a gas cap,
what about a piston job?
That's somebody else.
Is it?
Sure.
I'm so glad
that's somebody else. That's dismantling an engine. That is for an extreme professional.
Yeah.
And it also is time consuming. I
Right.
can do the bigger jobs like that, but I have neither the time nor the interest. So when you hear me talking about a brake job, you know that brake job I said I did last week?
Yeah.
And I love the privacy of this because this is not something I would go on a talk show and talk about. But
Right.
it's you and me. And this is the way we talk.
It
That brake
well,
job
it's
was
on the
30
internet.
minutes. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not embarrassed by that. That brake
Right.
job was 30 minutes.
Right.
That's what it took me.
Right.
And you tell me, is 30 minutes worth $500?
Yes.
Because the bill they were ready to charge me was $530. I did the job for $29.
I know.
And I did it perfectly. I did it exactly the way it would have been done at the shop. I just had to jack the car up and I don't have a lift. But I'm such a fan of solving things.
I love that. I have my own telecom business, and even as a professional, I refer to YouTube. No ego, just need to solve problems. I agree. I do it too. I do it too. You know, I'm a graphic, and I say this loosely, I do graphic design stuff. And YouTube's always releasing new, or not YouTube, Photoshop and the other one I use. I can't think right now. But like they're always releasing new features and new things that make it better, but it also complicates the crap out of using the programs. And so I oftentimes will go to YouTube and spend hours and hours and hours learning how to perfect one or two little things in Photoshop, you know, just something simple. So, which is, you know, I think it's related to now. Look, if my light bulb in my I'll replace the light bulb. If it doesn't come on, then I'm taking it somewhere because it's above my pay grade. I'm not gonna,
absolutely. I'm not saying troubleshoot the whole. No, I'm not saying troubleshoot the whole electrical system. And has Robert responded to this? I really love his answers. Now Larry is saying something. Can you illuminate some of these? Because I'm really curious if this is helpful for people.
So I want to remember the when we were on the phone, was it today? Today when we were talking about the drill sergeant guy from Full Metal.
Arlie, his name is Arlie Ermy.
Yeah, well, I want to share for you. I want you, because you said you weren't friends, right? But you knew of him.
No, he and I used to see each other at calls because we were the two busiest military presences in show business.
Okay.
And so I'm 14, I think I'm 14 years younger than Arlie was. He passed away in 2018.
Right. Well, I want to show I'm sure a lot of people have seen this commercial where he plays a therapist on a Geico commercial.
Oh, you've got it?
It's hilarious.
Yeah, do a screen share. Let's
it's
look
so
at it.
funny.
And then I want to read these guys' comments. And ladies,
right.
if this even speaks to you, I hope that it speaks to everyone.
Yeah. Hang on. I'm going to share this. It's one of the funniest commercials ever.
Sean, it's good to see you on here tonight, brother.
All right, so let me go full screen, and here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Does a former drill sergeant make a terrible therapist?
And that's why yellow makes me sad, I think. That's interesting. You know what makes me sad?
You do! Maybe we should chug on over to Mamby-Pamby land where maybe we can find some self-confidence for you, you jackwagon!
Issue?
Geico.
Cry, baby.
Could save you 15% or more.
And there's our favorite term again, Ken, jackwagon. He called him a jackwagon.
I think that's where I started
using it.
I picked it up, but I mean, that's been out for years. That is one of my favorite commercials ever.
I am going to include that in my vernacular. It needs to be in the lexicon, jackwagon. Because it's fun, it's lighthearted, and it's not nasty rude. You know?
I love it. It's funny.
And
maybe we should chug on over to Mamby-Pamby land where we can find you some self-confidence.
Mamby-Pamby land. So let's go back and see. I really want to talk with our viewers tonight. Hello, Joan Anton.
Hey, Joan.
I love you, sweetheart. I'm glad you're here. I miss your face. By the way, Joan in the studio this week. Hey, let me do a little commercial for who our guest is, Ken.
Yes.
In the studio this week, we have in my acting studio online, we have Kurt Fuller. Will you bring up Kurt Fuller's picture? Now, Kurt, mind you, is someone that you will all know, and he, like me, is considered to be one of those guys that the industry knows as that guy. Right? They don't know his name, but they go, "Oh, that guy. Yeah, I know that guy.
I know that guy."
So Kurt's a that guy. And most of you will remember probably his biggest early break was in Wayne's World. He's a series regular on the show Psych, for those of you who are Psych fans. And we finally started working together on West Wing. I was on the West Wing for a few years, and Kurt did a few episodes with us, and we got to be buddies. So he will be our guest, Ken, on Monday night at the studio, and I'm excited. Last week we had Kurtwood Smith, who played Red Foreman on That 70s Show. Many of you may know this. This is me simply sharing some good news. This is not name dropping. These people are guests. They're hardworking actors that visit our studio and they share their story about their journey, and then it turns into Q&A for the students, which is exciting. And I will let people know tomorrow night on our show, Ken, for those who would like to visit just for his talk only. If they would like to visit the studio, I'll tell them how they can do that, because it's online, and that's pretty exciting. Now, how do you pronounce that? Turilski? I bet it's Turilski Davis. Do you know Turilski? Is that it? Do you know his name? Ken? I can't hear you, brother.
I said, yes, I do. I thought it was just Terrell, but he may have added the ski on there. Sean, I love what Sean says here, by the way. One more thing about YouTube, it reaffirms my faith in humanity. There are thousands of professionals out there willing to give away millions of dollars of technical guidance for free. So true.
And I got to tell you, Ken and I are of that same ilk.
Yeah.
And Scott McCain is that way, and certainly a lot of people I know. But you know, our program on Sunday night is very much about that. We are about connecting with people. We are about helping. We are about listening. We are about valuing.
Yeah.
We're about offering helpful hints. We are about giving you guys a place to chat with one another as well as us, and all in good faith. Every bit of it in the name of advancement. Because, you know, if we're all journeying up the mountain, Ken, I know you know this, but if we're all journeying up the mountain together, having a big set of eyeballs on the various pathways up the mountain is way better than only having two eyeballs.
Totally agree.
If you've got so many people that are scouting what would be the easiest path for, say, the next 200 yards of ascension, we don't have to go up this really frightening, terrifying, and dangerous path right here, because Robert's on the other side, and Robert just whistled to us. So before we start endangering our lives, why don't we go see what Robert has discovered?
Yeah.
And you know, that's to me what cohesiveness is about. That's what collaboration is. What did Joan say just then? Mamby-pamby land, isn't that around the corner from Shorts in a Wadville? I haven't heard of that one.
That's funny.
So did the car analogy, the mechanic analogy, relating that to human beings, and that many times it's a matter of we just have to be willing to open our hood. We got to lift up the hood of our lives.
Yes, I like the metaphor, but I personally hate auto mechanics.
Okay.
Not the persons, the actually doing. I'm not. I'm. But I was forced, like literally forced to do it as a teenager, and swore I would never do it again, and I haven't, and I won't. So, you know, but I'm one of those people that would. I mean, if I could pay somebody to go put gas in my car, I would.
All right, but when the light bulb needs to be changed at your house, do you call in a professional?
100% of the time.
Aren't you that professional?
No,
You don't change a light bulb at your house.
I do. I
Okay.
do. But that's a lot
Well, why are
different
you
than
giving me? Why are you busting my balls here? Just
I'm not.
just-
I'm not. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, I love, as you already know, I love human development. I've worked on myself for many years, and I help a lot of people with that as well.
Right.
But when it comes to auto mechanics, not the people, the profession, the working on vehicles. Yes, and I also worked at the Honda factory for 3 years building cars.
Right.
And it was the worst 3 years of my life.
So how about this one? May I tell one simple story?
Yes,
It's simple and
please.
it's short.
Yes.
This one was 2 weeks ago at my mother's house. Everyone in
Okay.
my family knows that in addition to making movies, that I also really enjoy mechanics of every kind. So my mom has this mystery noise in her utility room, and she's pretty sure that it's the dryer, because it's got one of these sounds that sounds like a dryer cycle. We all know them. The dryer letting you know that it's done drying.
Yeah.
And washer cycles have the same thing. Most of them will have an indicator sound that lets you know it's done. And now you can, it's just letting you know it's time to pull your stuff out of the machine.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it was going off when she wasn't doing the laundry, and it was inadvertent. It was sporadic and unpredictable. She didn't know, and it was really interrupting because she works a lot in her back office. And so she's ready to call the washer repair guy out. And I said, Mom, let me troubleshoot it. So this does not mean I'm going to work on her washer dryer, which I'm capable of and have done so, but I need to troubleshoot it to find out where the noise is coming from. So here's what I did. I went back into the utility room and I waited 5 minutes for something to make a sound, because I had heard it a few times while we were there. And I went in to identify where the sound was coming from using God's gift of my ears. So here comes the sound. Here comes the sound. I don't hear it strong from the right. I hear it from the left. And that's not where the dryer is. So now I look up and there's a washer, there's a dryer, and there's a refrigerator, all side by side. So while it's in the middle of its sound, I have a hunch that it might not be the washer or the dryer. So I unplug. That's all I did. Pre-mechanics 101. It doesn't make a sound if it's unplugged.
Right.
Okay.
Kill
so
the power.
This is part of the diagnostic.
Yep. Kill the power source.
I unplugged in the middle of the sound stopped. It's not the washer dryer. It's the refrigerator, which has now saved my mom a call to a washer dryer person who comes out and bills her for things they did not do.
Right.
Or at the bare minimum, they bill her for the visit. Or if it's a really unethical person, they bill for the visit and then claim to have done something to it and charge her for that as well. And if you don't think those people are in the world, you are naive. Because they are.
I just paid somebody, and he was very ethical, by the way.
Fantastic.
But his time's worth something. He came out, said he diagnosed our washing machine, and he said, this thing will cost more to fix than to buy a new one. I said, do you sell them? And he said, no, go to Lowe's and get a new one.
Right.
And he charged me $60 for his time.
I'm not suggesting the world is loaded with crooks. I'm saying that there are people in the repair business that will sell you parts that you do not need. That's right. 100% true.
Yep.
So now I don't have the time nor the experience to work on a refrigerator, but I also know where it's coming from, because now that I know it's the refrigerator, I now get down on the ground to follow the sound and realize where the sound is coming from. And it is down in the motor. So I'm done, because I don't work on refrigerators, but at least now my mother can call the correct person.
That's right.
And let them know It's coming from the underside of the refrigerator, and then she won't go in as an idiot, right?
That's right.
If the worst thing you can tell somebody is fix it, fix it, because they're usually going to fix you too.
Right.
And a lot of times that fixation goes in your rectum. So mom at least was able to call a refrigerator repair, and it was done for the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And all it took was a 5-minute diagnostic to find out what wasn't making the noise. And I think that this same thing is true in life, that we can, if we're not careful, we can fix what isn't the problem.
Yep. It's true.
I think that's a great name for a book, Ken. Fixing What Isn't the Problem. Right? So if your car runs like garbage, putting a new paint job on it doesn't make it run better. It might have needed a new paint job, but the paint job wasn't why it was running poorly. So
Yeah.
you have fixed what wasn't the problem.
Right.
I think this happens in friendships.
Yeah.
I think people fix what isn't the problem.
I agree.
This became incredibly mechanical, but it's just because I've been working on a car all day. So,
Well, I am
tired.
And I played 24 or 25.
Yeah, how'd your golf
holes
go
of
today?
Went well.
And you played alone.
I did. It was fun.
Is that invigorating for you?
It's peace. It's
Solace.
yeah. I love it. Just time out there. I think tomorrow I'm going to take Jill and we're going to go again.
Is there something zen-like
Being in
about
nature,
golf? Just being out in oneness with nature and walking and exercising and being in the sun. And
I don't walk. I take a cart. Now I
Okay.
get off the cart and walk to my ball,
okay.
but
And would it be safe to assume that you have no caddy, or do you outsource for that as well?
no, I am my cat. I'm my caddy.
You are your own caddy.
Yeah, I'm my own caddy. I have an app on my phone that helps me.
Okay, so let me just make sure I understand this. You don't change light bulbs on your car, but you are your own caddy on a golf course.
I mean, unless I'm on a course that's like a top tier course, you know.
I feel
then
like
you
I better.
have to have a caddy.
I feel like I know who you are more tonight. I'll see you tomorrow, brother.
Yeah. So, hey, this show, by the way, is called The Best Way to Sell Anything. And, you know, as I was saying in the beginning, for anyone that just joined, if you want to sell on social media, let me leave you with this. Learn how to create real relationships with people first.
Mm-hmm.
Once you learn how to do that, you'll be on the right path. He always scores so much better when golfing alone. Charles.
We
All
love
right,
our Charles.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Glenn. Thanks for popping in too.
You betcha,
man.
brother. I'll see
know I
you
love
tomorrow
you.
evening.
Don't hang up on me.
All right.
We'll see you guys later. Thank you to everybody who's been on here. See you guys tomorrow night.
See you tomorrow night, guys.
Weldon says, you guys selling, I think me on auto mechanics had been a riot. All right, we'll see you guys.